Hello, everybody. My name is Nisin Lopez. I'm a Cuban American artist based in Miami, Florida, and I also happen to be a targeted individual, a victim of covert harassment sponsored by law enforcement. I'm talking about organized stalking here. Some people know this as government retaliation. I've been a victim of community based mobbing for many years now. My targeting began, on January of 2011, or at least that's when I realized that I was being unjustly and systematically harassed in an organized fashion by civilians that were obviously, recruited by, some type of sectoral law enforcement. I'm talking here about citizens on patrol, surveillance role players. These are the kind of people that are recruited, enlisted in order to unjustly and systematically harass, agitate, intimidate, terrorize the isolated target 24/7 everywhere he goes in order to cause a nervous breakdown. So, what does a targeted individual experience on a daily basis? Well, like I said, I've been a targeted individual for many years now, and they basically mess with you, every day, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you know, to destroy your mental health. They recruit people that will mess with you. I'll give you a practical example. Sometime around May of 2014, I was in downtown Miami. I was basically trying to use the Miami-Dade public library system, and I don't have a car anymore, so I use the bus. I take the bus and I use the metro rail. So when I got off the metro rail station, at the bottom of the stairs, I encountered this individual. He was basically, he cut me off and he was invading my personal space, and he was insulting me for no reason. He was basically provoking me. A guy in his early 20s. He looked like he could have been some type of drug addict. Maybe homeless. I don't know. But he was basically trying to start a fight. He was provoking me, insulting me for no reason. So I kind of figured that somebody, this guy looked like he looked like an ex-convict or something. He looked like obviously somebody had recruited him. He was trying to trigger a response. It was more than obvious. So I walked a block, and when I got to the cafeteria that is pretty much next to the library, I encountered a police officer there. This is in downtown Miami. I spoke to the officer and I told him, hey, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. He was talking to another guy that, he looked like a cop, but he was not dressed as a police officer. So I talked to him. I told him, hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just encountered this guy, at the bottom of the stairs by the metro rail station, by the entrance. This guy, he was insulting me. He was basically, trying to provoke a fight, and he was basically, just messing with me for no reason. This guy, he looked violent, and I'm just telling you this. So the officer, he told me, well, if he gets on your face, you know what you have to do. And guess what happened? Check this out. The guy that was next to the officer, he was wearing glasses, and he was dressed up as a civilian. But if you ask me, he looked like he had something to do with law enforcement, either a cop or a firefighter. I don't know. The guy that was next to the officer, he extended his hand to me, and when he opened his hand, guess what he had there? He was basically offering me a pocket knife in front of the officer. So I looked at the officer, like basically saying, "What the hell is this? This is crazy." So I just said, "No, no, I'm sorry. I'm not into that." So, and I got away from there. So now here's the thing. I went to the library, and then when I got out of the library, and of course, I have to use the entrance of the metro rail station in order to access the station. The guy that had been insulting me and provoking me, he was still there. But guess what? When he saw me, he didn't say anything. He just kind of like got away. So basically, what I'm trying to say here, basically what we have here is an event orchestrated by the police. The police recruited this citizen on patrol, this thug, this guy that was insulting the hell out of me and provoking me. They recruited this guy. They told him to insult me. They told him to basically provoke a fight, to make me angry, to make me upset. They know, 'cause, as a targeted individual, I'm under constant surveillance. I've been a TI for many years now. They know all my habits, where I go. They know that every time I go to the downtown library, they know that I always go to that cafeteria in the corner first, which is next to the library. They knew that I was going to go there. So that's why they had this guy there basically offering me a pocket knife. They were expecting, I mean, they were trying to trigger a response. They were basically pulling the strings, orchestrating, stuff, hoping that I would lose my mind and that I would commit a crime. I'm not a violent person, so I'm not into that kind of stuff. So, but I'm just sharing this experience so that you guys have an idea of the kind of sick stuff that the police is involved with. When it comes to community-based mobbing, organized stalking, a targeted individual program. This is a takedown program. They basically mess with you, you know, exposing you to negative environmental stimuli and dark neurolinguistic programming, to destroy your mental health, And what we have here is pretty much entrapment. They orchestrated all this stuff, trying to trigger a response so they could put me in jail under false accusations, and to destroy my public image, to make me look like I'm some crazy violent guy or some shit.